Well, thank you very much, future me. You're doing a great job so far. I'll take it from here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start this demo here with our test code here. So we're in our command prompt here on this side, and we want to first let's test to make sure we're running the right version of Python. So you do that Python dash dash version, and you see that we're in 2.7.18, and that is the correct version for the code that we have written. So we want to change our directory to our folder where our Python file is kept, like the CD, and then where our folder is. And then once we are in the folder, the right folder, we can go ahead and run our Python by doing Python and then a space, and then what our Python file is called, demo.py in this case. So I don't know if you can see this on the top of my screen. There we go. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So what you saw at the beginning there was this importing modules script to tell us, hey, the script is working, just wait a minute, and we're importing the ArcPy and this move from shuttle. So that's what that was doing. And then once it's done that, it will go ahead and give us a fresh command window and a title for our page, which we can see right up here. And then it saves this MXD file into this ArcPy map document file type or data type. And so that's going to be used later whenever we're creating our PDFs. It'll be an input into another function so that we can output all of our PDFs. So then we have here, do you want to explore all individual or you want to exit? So that's where we start our first outer while loop here. So this will break when um, a few conditions are met. So we have our break outer loop variable set equal to false. So while not break outer loop is false, this will continue to run, and it gets updated to true in a few different code for different lines, like you can see here, and a few others down the road. So say, uh, well, you know what? I don't like any of those options. I want to do 4. It goes directly into this else part right here. So anything besides 1, 2, or 3 will run this part here for our inner while loop. So it's going to give us this error. And then once you say, oh, my bad, and you click enter, it will go back to the top. And it's 1, 2, or 3. Those are your options. If you do 1, it will set the page range to all. If you select 2, it'll set the page range to range. And if you select 3, it will break this outer loop and break the inner loop here so that we can just break out of everything and continue on with the rest of the code. You're finished with the program at that point. So pretty nifty little thing. So let's go ahead and show, let's do an individual page. So what pages do you want to export? So this part will break what this outer loop again here uh, if this has been updated here. So and then we have if it's set to range, that's where we're here. What pages do you want to export? We'll export pages 3, 4, 3, 5, and 8. All right, 3, 5, and 8 will be exported, and then this is the part where it gets there's a lot of time for the code to crunch these numbers. So we have our counting spaces, we have our running pivot table, we have all of these variables being updated through ArcPy. And so these are the path names to these variables in the database. And then it's using this frequency analysis, pivot table, add field management, and calculate field management, delete rows management, append management. All of these are being run on those on these variables here. And so that's happening. It usually takes close to 15 minutes for that to run if you're doing all of the pages, but much less if you're doing just 3. So but since that would take too long, I went ahead and left it out for this demo. So we have our line here that says, look, specified pages are created successfully. Press enter. That's where we are here right now on the code. So once I hit enter, it's going to give us a fresh command window and ask us, hey, do you want to export more? You only did a few pages. Do you want to do more? And this is the part where if we had selected all, it would just it would break out of the outer loop and go ahead and continue on after the while loops here. So it won't even ask this question if you did select all, which is pretty neat. And then the only other option is for it to be set at range at this point. So it will ask you, would you like to export more? Yes or no? And then you will go ahead and be like, no or yes, or you know what, I want to put 8. Well, sorry, no, that's accounted for here in the else statement again. So it will just break back up to the initial loop check, and it'll ask this question again after you've been like, oh, my bad, I should do 1 or 2. So let's try doing 1. We want to export more. Okay, you have chosen to export more pages. That's right here. And then press enter, gives us a fresh window, and the parking lot's page creator again. This time, let's do export of all, so we can see it break directly through. After the after all of this, it will not run this part of the code anymore because the break outer loop will equal true at this point. All right, so now we are on to the moving and renaming of the files. So we have just under 295 PDFs created now, and we have to move them from the test folder to the moved folder. These drives on the transportation services are a G drive and a T drive. The destination drive, the T drive is the web directory for the parking map app, the TAMU one. So it's pretty important that all of these names are exactly correct so that they can directly be used by the Aggie map. So first things first, we do remove a few garages. This used to be about 30 lines of code. Now with just this little bit, we can remove all of the garages because we have a separate code for the garages. So that has cut down a lot on our codes. Coding lines. So then we have the special removing and naming. Unfortunately, some of these lots need to be renamed to things that are not very easy to do with a for loop. So here we have lot 8004, and it's going to be renamed to Relish Food Truck. So not easy to do that with a just a for loop. So we went ahead and left a lot of this hard coded in, but don't worry, there are some easier renaming ones down here. So we have lots with regular renaming now. And for this one, it will go for every file in the G drive. It's going to loop everything through. So if the file name ends with PDF, if it is a PDF, the new file name will equal the file name, but it will take out this and insert and replace it with an empty string, so nothing. It will take out lot and replace it with nothing. It will take out spaces and replace it with nothing. All right, now that we have our new file name all updated and everything, we have our old file name, and we have our destination drive and our source drive. So our destination path is joined together here. The T drive, where it's going to end up, its new home, and the new file name are joined together. And then our source path is the G drive, where it currently is, and our regular file name. And then we move to from the source path to the destination path. Pretty nifty little code. It is 10 lines long, and it replaces over 400 lines of code. So pretty awesome, and it runs super quick. All of this removing and renaming stuff takes less than 10 minutes, or 10 seconds, sorry. So pretty nifty. And then it will, so we have Done all this. We've removed garages and removed garages finished. Lots of special renaming, lots of special renaming finished, lots of regular finished. And then we have export completed. You have done well. Press enter to exit. So press enter to exit is right here. We are done with the code. It will give us a fresh command window and we are done. We have our new PDFs, almost 300 of them. Made in just under 20 minutes, probably. So pretty cool. Let me know if you have any questions. Take it away, Future Scott.